was the 17th of November 2007 when I filmed this scene. Francois had started converting this disused structure on the pier in Hout Bay. It was the base of an ice factory and there was constantly noise. He was trying to convert it into some kind of rehab seal center. The idea then was to rehab and raise seals at the center and slowly reintroduce them back into the wild. The center wasn't quite living up to what he'd hoped it to be. It was really tough working in this environment without a roof, as the rains in winter were taking a bit of a toll on his health. Communication with the public was tough. He sent out emails to try raise money for the center, but he did manage to collect some pieces of equipment to go and rescue seals in the wild. Up until then, Francois was finding it very difficult to rear seal pups, an almost impossible task being their 24/7 caregiver and trying to replace their mother. So I was very aware walking around that if I made the call to him and he agreed to take on some babies, it was going to be another year-long commitment. And I wasn't sure he was going to take it on. But he didn't hesitate and said, let's just try. Now, we weren't even aware if what we were doing was potentially illegal or not. You'll see as we get into this series, there's one constant, that as we decide to do things, there's always the long arm of the law not far away. It's incredible. You're trying to just help animals and stop them turning into mush on a rock. There'll be someone viewing, someone looking, and yeah, well, you'll see over the years. You'll see. So we thought it was probably better to come back a bit later when it was dark and do whatever we were going to do then. Nature can be a very cruel thing. As we observed this scene, the newly born pups trying desperately to find their mums, it became more and more obvious that they weren't going to have much luck getting a meal. Pups, as a marine mammal, suckle for about a year, but the mums were being actually quite cruel and were flinging them around a bit, far from the nurturing bond one would expect at this age. But the pups persisted in their attempts to get some kind of care and their next meal. I think it became apparent to us what was actually going on. The mothers were in such a poor condition, just skin and bones. They were so thin. So lack of food was probably their concern, and they probably thought that they couldn't raise a pup on their own and find enough fish to support both of them. It looked like it was going to be yet another year when pups battled to get through. As the sun was setting, it was crazy how these little seals were walking along these almost vertical drop-offs right on the edge, far away from the colony, and just had no hope of going back. It's almost like they had abandoned the idea of getting back or ever finding their mom again. It's often the case. Even in Namibia, the seals walk away from the colony and often pass away hundreds of meters away from where they should have been. And as they cried out, we eventually decided it was time to make our move and take action. We decided to take only the weakest of the seals, and that possibly there was a chance that the stronger ones may make it, but we doubted it. So we loaded the seals up one at a time, just looking for the weakest of the lot. Most of them were barely clinging to life and probably wouldn't make it in the car for the next hour or so. I called Francois with the final number we had collected, and he said he'd be waiting for us. Now, if you like and subscribe, this could be a crazy journey because I want to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll slowly start telling more of the story.